For those who are unaware, we have just entered Ramadan, the holiest time of the Islamic year. It was during this month the first verses of the Quran are said to have been revealed to the founder and prophet of the Islamic religion, Muhammad. Muslims around the world are expected to fast during daylight hours, refraining from eating, drinking, and sexual relations. It's also meant to be a time for increased prayer, charity, and attendance to family. This period of fasting is considered one of the 5 pillars or obligatory acts of Islam. I'm going to bring you a short series of videos about the problems of Ramadan. First up, why does Allah hate the poor? The main verses in the Quran which speak of fasting are in Surah 2, verses 183 to 187. We shall follow the Sahih International version on this, although other main translations agree on the key details. Surah 2, 183 to 184 says, O you who have believed, decreed upon you is fasting, and it was decreed upon those before you, that you may become righteous. Fasting for a limited number of days, so whoever among you is ill or on a journey during them, then an equal number of days are to be made up, and those who are able to fast but with hardship, a ransom as substitute, feeding a poor person each day. And whoever volunteers excess, it is better for him, but to fast is best for you, if you only knew. Firstly, why does Allah consider it to be paying a ransom to feed a poor person rather than fasting? A ransom is generally considered a payment to get someone who has been kidnapped or captured released. Who has Allah kidnapped that requires this payment? Is this a reference to the Muslim soul, which could only be freed by feeding the poor? It's a very, very strange use of words. So, according to the Quran, there is a hierarchy of good when it comes to fasting. A 3-stage process, if you like. The bronze medal is awarded to a Muslim who does not fast but feeds a poor person the minimum required. The silver medal goes to the Muslim who does not fast but feeds the poor person a bigger meal above the minimum required. So far so good, rewarding the better treatment of the poor person. That's a pretty good incentive for a pretty good moral outcome. But what does first place go to? Giving the poor person even more food, maybe shelter? Feeding 2 poor people? No. The big gold medallion is awarded to the Muslim who fasts and lets the poor person go hungry. This is the scenario that pleases Allah the most. This scenario is what will bring the Muslim closer to Allah and in the long run closer to paradise. So thanks to Allah's command, the more the poor are left to go hungry during Ramadan, even starve, the more pleased he is, the more moral the world becomes. In addition, doesn't this system require that the poor be kept around? Not just to keep Allah happy, but to make sure that Muslims can fulfill their duty during Ramadan. Now let's imagine a Star Trek type future where poverty is being completely eliminated. This would leave no ransom to pay towards Allah for those Muslims who cannot fast, and it would mean millions of Muslims would be unable to fulfill one of the 5 pillars of Islam. So this doctrine means Allah would necessarily want to keep poor people around to fulfill his ransom needs during Ramadan, and Muslims must work to avoid a future without poverty in order to keep a safety net to fulfill their religious obligations. Their very souls could be threatened with hell if too much poverty was relieved. So I repeat the question, why does Allah hate the poor? Ironically, under this system, the Muslim who, for whatever reason, is too sick to fast, does more good for the poor than his healthy brothers and sisters. So, based on Allah's reward system in the Quran, my advice to the poor over Ramadan is, if you're going to make friends with a Muslim, make sure they have COVID first.